fact, if we brought the famous King Solomon from the biblical days and asked him to look through the E-levy and see whether there's any wisdom or sense in it, we all know what the answer would be. The E-levy is an unthought through policy. It's a knee-jerk reaction. Look, there is no financial sense to the E-levy. There is no common sense to the E-levy. Finance aside, what the E-levy effectively is a wallet tax, taxing you for keeping your money. It does not make sense. You usually, look, the standard principle of taxation, we tax you on your profit because as a company, you have worked hard, you have generated revenue, you have deducted your taxes from it, your expenditure from it, the profits we tax, no problem. We tax you on your wages, income tax, because as an individual, you have worked hard to earn that money and we tax it at source. We tax VAT, value added tax. And it is because some value has been added to a particular transaction. So if I'm buying something from Facebook Marketplace and selling it to you, Sana, I have added value in the sense that I've been able to provide a service, a middleman service of taking from the wholesaler and selling to you. And therefore, value added tax makes sense. Where does the E-levy sit in this? This E-levy, whether your money has added value or not, you pay. Your money is sitting in a particular pocket. You are removing your money from your right-hand side pocket to your left-hand side pocket, and government says, I'll tax it. Effectively, you are taking money from your bank account and putting it onto your momo wallet. That is what I mean by from your right hand pocket of your trouser to your left hand, and these people say they will tax it, trouser tax. This pocket tax, it does not make sense. And it is injurious to the economy in many ways, a few of which include this. If you have capital sitting there and they decide to tax that capital, it means they're reducing the amount of capital that you have injected into the economy, China. So if, for argument's sake, China, you had 1,000 cedi to start a mobile money shop business, straight away, government wants to take 1.75% of it when you haven't even started the business at all. Senna, say you are in my village in the Upper West region and you want to buy an engine from, what do you call it, either Swami or Abusuakai. You are a mechanic. Your customer comes and says, I want to change the engine in my car. You order the engine, they tell you that it will cost you 5,000 Ghana. The capital you are going to spend to purchase that engine so that you can put it in the car to fix, and then you can charge the customer with your profit. Government says, I will take that capital before you can. So if your last money was 5,000 Ghana and the engine is 5,000 Ghana, and government decides that they will take that levy from you at that point, it means you can buy the engine. So you can imagine that that business opportunity will collapse. This is why I say it has an opportunity to collapse businesses. And so if you look at the tax from a personal, from a trade perspective, it doesn't make sense. It's a payment tax. And you see, the ridiculousness of it is a tax should be equitable. And a tax should be possible to enforce across everybody equally. So when government of Ghana says that you are all going to pay tax, income tax at 20%, it means 20% of your taxable income. So it doesn't matter where you are, nobody will get zero of their taxable income. And I'm using the word taxable income to show the portion of your income that can be taxed, because we do have tax allowances. Now this is the trick, Sana. This tax is not equitable because you can pay 0% e-levy and I'll pay 1.75. Why? If we both go to Atavi and we are buying a bobo from her, and you choose to pay cash, you will pay 0% of the e-levy. If I am not lucky and I have my money in my wallet and I want to use to pay Atavi for the aboboy, I will end up paying 1.75%. Can you see why it is a bad tax? Even from the principles of taxation, it is an obnoxious and a bad tax. In addition to that, look, Sana, the numbers have already come out. Even in December, around middle of November, they announced e-levy. Between October to November, momo transaction value went up by almost 9 billion. A month, I'm talking about 9 billion a month to almost 80 billion. for that period. As soon as they announced E-levy in the middle of November, the subsequent month, it came down by 3.2 billion. What does that tell us? This tax is going to collapse a very buoyant cashless economy. Is going to collapse the momo industry that is employing a lot of our young people, because the barriers to entry for the momo industry is very low. So now if you have your money, you buy your phone, you go and register with the right person, you can become a momo merchant. You don't need to have 10,000 Ghana cedi to start or 20,000 Ghana cedi to start. So most of us who finish school and we are struggling to get a job, we can't get a job. We can get a simple tailor table with an umbrella, borrow some small money from our friends, and then start it, and we start making money. And the good thing is that for every, the 1% that the telcos charge us, those who charge us, 40% of it, 40% of that 1% that the telcos charge us goes to the momo vendors. This is free employment, that is reducing employment. It's giving jobs to the youth in a time when there are no jobs. And what we just did was to take 3 billion out of that amount. Now, you quantify 3 billion, if it carries on, and this is just the announcement alone, we would expect that as soon as it passes in Parliament, the amount of momo transactions will collapse. And that is a fact across the world. If you look at almost all other groups, some have recorded as much as almost 80% drop. One ask Uganda, ask Malawi, and the rest. So whichever way you look at this tax, it's a bad tax. And that is why they should have thought about it. Before you announce these kind of knee-jerk taxes, you sit down, you soberly reflect what will be the impact on all the other existing, all the other existing protocol in place. And what government is not realizing is that if E-levy goes ahead, not only will the tax E-levy collect much, much less than they thought it was, especially given that we've just had recorded, even the announcement alone give you 3 billion shortfall. What it means is if government thought that we'll make 500 million or 1 billion, and they can collect 1.75 of that, they're in for bad news, because the amount will now collapse. If it comes down to 100 billion, they will only collect a tiny portion of it. And this is the other interesting thing. When momo is coming down, all the other taxes, the communication service tax and all those other taxes that are levied on it, which government gets a portion, it will disappear, go out the window. Including the charges that the momo charges we pay, government gets a portion of it. Remember I said earlier on, for every 1 cedi that they charge you, when they charge you that 1%, right? For every 1 cedi they charge you, 40% goes to the momo vendor. The remaining portion, government takes its taxes from the telcos. So assume you collapse momo. Once you collapse momo, government's taxes from the telcos or momo will also collapse. So can you see how they are cutting their noses to spite their faces? They are sacrificing current guaranteed revenue for future revenue that will probably not materialize. And not only will it not materialize, it's also going to bring down other existing revenue bases. And this is why if you look at it from a simple taxation perspective, it doesn't make financial sense. If you look at it from a common sense perspective, it doesn't make sense. Why will you be taxing somebody for simply moving their money from one pocket of their trouser to the other pocket of the trouser? Where is what value is being added? So, Sana, if you look at it from this very commonsensical view, we have no doubt in our mind that the people who dreamt this, they woke up from a very bad hangover and made this decision in the middle of a very, very bad hangover. They should have taken some aspirin and sit down and reflect on it. And the fact that government now, instead of backtracking, is still churning out all kinds of untruths, including this Western regional minister who claims that poor people only earn 70 cedis in Ghana as a justification for E-levy. The fact that government is still justifying tells us we have a problem, a crisis of leadership.